everybody, and welcome to the Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your #1 non-boring source for personal development. Over the last few episodes, we've talked about ways for you to create greater wealth in your life. And there were two key lessons for creating this wealth. Can you remember what they are? Number one, living a frugal lifestyle. And number two was creating greater leverage. If you live a frugal lifestyle, you will preserve your capital so that you can invest it in greater leverage. Now let's define wealth, frugality, and leverage for those of you who missed the earlier episodes. Wealth is not money or riches. Wealth is the freedom to be and do and create with your life resources. So it's the freedom. Number two, frugality is not being a cheap ass. Frugality is about hating waste, and to make it fun, you can preserve your capital but splurge once in a while in smart ways. We talked about how to do that in the last episode. And finally, leverage is not what America and Wall Street did over the last few months that drove the economy down with these derivatives and all this crazy leverage, debt out the yin-yang type of stuff. Leverage is the mechanical advantage or power gained by using a lever. That's the definition in the dictionary. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lever is something that you can use that will actually cause you to need less effort for greater return or greater power. Now, in this show, we're going to talk about 3 levers that you can use to create greater returns in your life, and that's what we mean when we say leverage. Are you ready to learn what those 3 levers are? Let's begin. Number 1, people. Number 2, technology. And number 3, systems. Now let's break down each one of these levers and come up with a strategy so that you can use them in your life. Are you ready? All right, let's begin. Number 1, people. How can you leverage people so that you can put a little effort in and get a lot of return from your efforts? Well, it requires a team, it requires an organization, and that's ultimately what a corporation or a business is. It's a team of people. And at the top, you have the owner or the investors that actually make up the primary, the founders of the team. And when they employ or they use capital to hire people, they are leveraging the time, energy, knowledge, and connections of people to create greater returns for themselves. Now, it's not necessarily a selfish proposition because they're also helping all the people in the organization. As long as they stay in business, they manage their resources well, and they continue to grow and create more people even beneath them in the structure, because any manager is also leveraged as they have the subordinates beneath them also doing the work. So there's a team and a hierarchy of delegation that makes leveraging people an important lever for creating wealth. At the highest levels, the owner, the founder, and the investors, and then at the lowest level, you have the employees. But in any organization, obviously the value is all the same. Everybody makes up the team. Everybody is an important part of that business. And for this show, we're just going to talk about this in a technical definition as a lever. When you have lots of people that are properly employed and properly working with you, then you have a lever, a tool that is going to create an advantage or power in your life versus if you're just trying to do it on your own. Does that make sense? That's number 1. If you can leverage people and they are going to love you in return, it's not something that you're just gaining from, everybody gains from it, but if you properly know how to leverage people, then you're going to be wealthy. So that's number 1. And if you can find ways to preserve your capital so that you can employ people in a proper business, a business that has potential of making money, then ultimately you're going to start to leverage yourself. Now, in my personal life, I started out with myself, and eventually I started out with a couple staff, and now I'm up to almost 200 staff that I am currently leveraging in the form of a business. And so that makes me an entrepreneur, and I have an organization through which I leverage my resources in the form of people.